Good afternoon, East Alabama and West Georgia. We welcome those of you who are listening on God's Country, 90.9 FM, and also those of you who are listening over on East Alabama's Classic. We are with you this afternoon on the Dr. Don network of radio stations and social media to talk to you about the possibility of severe weather across East Alabama and West Georgia. For those of you who watched our morning weather forecast, we did talk about the possibility of a marginal risk of severe weather across East Alabama and West Georgia this afternoon. But we are now kind of upgrading things a little bit. That we've gone from a marginal risk to a slight risk. And I know that doesn't sound too significant, but in the weather world, it kind of is. So we're going to talk to you a little bit this afternoon and show you what is going on out there now and what could possibly happen over the course of the next several hours across Alabama and Georgia. So what you're looking at here is the current composite reflectivity. This is a map that shows you all of the different radar sites across the South, and it's kind of a composite of all those different radar signals, and it's showing you where the convection or showers and thunderstorms are out there right now. And at the moment, we have no severe weather across East Alabama or West Georgia at this hour. So I'm going to take the reflectivity product off, and I'm also going to take the lightning product off, and that will make it a little easier for us to be able to see the watch warning map. All right, so all of those counties in pink, and we have a couple of counties that are not showing up for some reason, but trust me, all of these counties you see in pink are covered under a tornado watch that goes until 11 o'clock tonight. Now, in our coverage area, on our social media side, that's going to include in West Georgia, Carroll and Heard County. In East Alabama, it's going to include Cleburne, Calhoun, Randolph, Clay, Talladega, St. Clair, and even over into portions of central Alabama down there, just north of Chilton County, around over there around the Birmingham metro area. From that line north all the way up into central Tennessee, we have a brand new tornado watch that's just been issued by the Storm Prediction Center out in Norman, Oklahoma. Now, the reason they've issued this tornado watch is because we do have the possibility of a small spin-up tornado this afternoon. I got to tell you, the bigger threat is going to be, though, small hail and damaging straight-line winds, and then the least of the three would be that tornado threat. A quick, small spin-up tornado certainly will be possible this afternoon into the early evening hours. Now, if you're in an area where you have not received a lot of rain today, and if you're receiving sunshine this afternoon, then you're in an area that is primed a little bit more for the possibility of severe weather. So I'm going to take the watch warning graphic off, and let's go back over and turn the satellite on. And okay, that's good. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer on East Alabama. And you can see there that we do have breaks in the clouds. So some of you are seeing intermitting sunlight. So those areas are warming up nicely this afternoon. And as this next piece of energy moves into our area, we could see more destabilization of the lower levels of the atmosphere. Therefore, we could see some heavy thunderstorms blow up a little later this afternoon into early this evening. So that's why we're here just talking about this, kind of letting you know this is not going to be a red letter severe weather outbreak across East Alabama and West Georgia. But there is enough instability going on this afternoon. There's enough of it going on to make the National Weather Service and the Storm Prediction Center go ahead and pull the trigger on issuing a tornado watch for this afternoon and tonight. Nothing going on out there right now as far as severe weather is concerned. And I'm going to take the satellite off and go back to the composite and show you the reflectivity. Right now, really, we have nothing much at all going on across East Alabama. We have a few showers up there in extreme northwest Randolph, also over there in central Clay County. You bring the radar loop current. For those of you who are watching us on social media, you can see that we have one moderate shower right there in central Clay County. It's going to be just to the east of Ashland, just south of Lineville, and that's moving off to the north, maybe a little bit west of due north, but pretty much north. So you folks up there in Lineville, you're going to have some moderate rainfall here in just a few moments. If you're over there just west of Childersburg, we also have some showers and thunderstorms over there. Up there along I-20, just north of Pell City, just to the west, northwest of Anniston. And then up in extreme northern Cherokee County, up around Jacksonville, we have some light showers up there, but nothing severe. As a matter of fact, as I back out on the radar, you can see that the closest lightning that we have, or strong storms that are taking place this afternoon, are just north of Gadsden, just north of Coleman, and up there on the north end of downtown Birmingham. We have some lightning in that area as well. But across East Alabama and West Georgia, we are good for the moment. But as I told you this morning, the later we get in the afternoon, the more conducive the atmosphere will become for the possibility of a strong to possibly severe thunderstorm. And again, if you are receiving a good bit of sunlight this afternoon in your particular location, then your chances of seeing a strong thunderstorm will increase versus those areas that are getting a lot of rain. Right now, looking at the latest radar, nobody in East Alabama is getting a lot of rain that's, hanging in there all day long. So I would say that all of East Alabama and West Georgia does have an opportunity for seeing a strong thunderstorm or two later on this afternoon. The best energy, I think, is going to be from Birmingham north or I-20 north, but we can't rule out that possibility all the way down into Randolph, Clay, and Talladega. That's the southern end of the tornado watch. So if you drew a line basically from Grantville, Georgia, down to Roanoke, over to Sylacauga, over to around Alabaster, north is where the best chance of severe weather will be this afternoon. You folks listening to us and watching us down there in Chambers, over in Troup County, Tallapoosa, Coosa, down into Elmore and Lee. Not really a threat of severe weather down there, but you could see a strong thunderstorm as well. So stay informed and be weather aware for the remainder of the afternoon. So that's where we're at this afternoon. I just wanted to jump on and give you an update on the latest from the National Weather Service. Again, that's a tornado watch in effect for those counties that you see in pink in our coverage area of East Alabama. Of the benefit of those of you who are listening to us on radio, that in Alabama will be Cleburne, Calhoun, Talladega, St. Clair, Clay, and Randolph. For those of you watching us on social media in West Georgia, that would also include Carroll and Heard County. In Georgia, that watch is in effect until 11 p.m. In Alabama, it is in effect until 10 p.m. this afternoon. So I'll give our radio stations an opportunity to go back to regular programming, and then I will go to the chat board and answer any questions any of you may have. So if you're on social media and would like to ask questions, now's a good time to post in the comments there, and I'll answer those for you. And if you're listening to us on radio, when you get an opportunity, not while you're driving, go to drdonwx.com, and you can download our weather app, or you can check us out on Facebook or YouTube, and you can join our online chat conversation as we talk about severe weather. For the benefit of our radio stations, if severe weather breaks out, I will be back. We'll have full live coverage for you right here on Dr. Don's Weather as we go throughout the evening. So I'm going to step aside just for a second to give our stations time to break away, and then I'll be right back. So stay with us. All right, once again, good afternoon, East Alabama and West Georgia. It is 3:34 Central on your Wednesday afternoon. Dr. Don in here with you, covering the possibility of severe weather across East Alabama and West Georgia. We have a tornado watch that's just been issued by the Storm Prediction Center out in Norman, Oklahoma. Covers portions of East Alabama, basically from about Grantville, Georgia, to Roanoke, Alabama, over to Sylacauga, over to Alabaster, and north. in Alabama and Georgia. It's basically northeast, east central Alabama, and northwest Georgia. That watch is in effect until 10 o'clock Central, 11 o'clock Eastern this evening, with a possibility of strong to severe thunderstorms and maybe even a spin-up tornado or two. The only tornado warning that we have had so far this afternoon was about an hour and a half ago down there just north of Macon, Georgia, down there in Forsyth, Georgia, Monroe County. A possible tornado down there. Haven't heard of any damage from that storm. But all of this weather is kind of lifting up from the southeast back into West Alabama and East Alabama, West Georgia and East Alabama, and then moving on off to the north. So I'm going to go up here and take a look at our comments in the chat room. If you have a question, a good time to post those questions. At least let me know where you're watching from this afternoon. I'll give you a shout out. Then I'll come back and recap one more time, and then we'll step aside and wait for any severe weather. And, of course, I'll be right back with that coverage. So Ruth Earl's in the house with us this afternoon. Thanks for joining us. Miss Beverly is in Rock Mills. Thank you for joining us, Miss Beverly. Regina says that some said tornado, and I said, where's Dr. Don? Again, as it has worked out multiple times, I was in the right place at the right time to be able to jump in here with you this afternoon. Had to run over to Kennesaw, Georgia earlier this morning for a meeting, and just happened to get back to the studio just as that watch was being issued. So it's working out again for us this afternoon. Cindy Smith is watching us from Roanoke. Janet Hood is down there in Chambers County. Kayla Norrid is in the room with us this afternoon. Carrie Smith is watching us from Newell. Noonan is in the house. Thank you, Nicole. Dakota is watching us from Malone and the Wadley area. All the pink are the counties that are covered by the tornado watch this afternoon. So if your county is colored in pink, you are covered under the tornado watch until 10 p.m. this evening for Alabama, 11 p.m. this evening for Georgia. All right, let's see what else we got going on here. Lynette, thank you, Terry. Let's see. Marlon Stewart's watching from Wedowee. Deborah Gilmore's in here with us this afternoon. Cleburne County. Good to have you, Jennifer. We appreciate you guys up there in Cleburne County, and you are part of our coverage area, so we will be watching that for you very closely as we go throughout the afternoon. Thank you, James Shepard. I appreciate those kind words. Nicole's asking, what's the weather like in Lynette? Absolutely nothing down there right now. We don't have any severe weather in our coverage area. As a matter of fact, we don't have any warnings, period, in the state of Alabama right now. We do have a couple of heavy cells up here around Albertville and then just southwest of Gadsden, then just north of Coleman, and then up there in extreme northern Birmingham. We have some heavy thunderstorms. Nothing across East Alabama and West Georgia, except for some scattered showers. We've got rain shower right there around around Lineville. That's about the heaviest thing we've got in East Alabama or West Georgia at the moment. But that could change as we go throughout the afternoon, hence the reason for the tornado watch. Sue Smith is watching us from Roanoke. Clay County's in the house. Nice to have you. David Barfield's watching us this afternoon. Kelly Wesson, thank you. Thank you, Ruth Earl. I appreciate those kind words. I really, really do. You know, we have long stretches where we don't have any severe weather, so I'm not here very much except for my daily weather forecast. So you folks who don't know about that, every single morning we put a weather forecast out for you. It's typically up by about 6 a.m. Central Time. Hope you make your plans to join us for that each and every day. But, you know, I wish that we could go forever and not have to talk about severe weather, but I enjoy getting back in here with you guys. Diane Wade, listening from Roanoke. All right, so sunshine in Wedowee. Yeah, well, in this particular setup, and you'll hear me say this often, that's not necessarily a good thing because more sunlight you have, the more the warmer the air becomes and the atmosphere becomes unstable with higher temperatures. So, I mean, we're approaching late afternoon, and so, if we get a couple, 2-3 hours of sun before the sun goes down, then that's just going to help the atmosphere destabilize even more and will increase the chance for a strong to severe thunderstorm. Again, I still think the best chance for severe weather is going to be north of I-20, but the Storm Prediction Center has included Randolph, Clay, and Talladega and Cleburne in the tornado watch, and in Georgia, Heard, and Carroll. Question about Roanoke and whether or not there's a good chance of a tornado. Again, Roanoke is south of I-20, so I think the better chances of seeing tornadic thunderstorms would be north of I-20, but we can't rule it out. So it's just one of those days where you're going to want to make sure that you pay attention to the latest weather. Be weather aware as we go throughout the rest of the afternoon and into the overnight hours. 5 points, Alabama, down there in Chambers County. Angela's asking a question about Jacksonville and Troy. Jacksonville's got a little light shower going on up there right now. They are north of I-20, and I do think that's the part of the state that stands the better chance of seeing severe weather. Though, again, folks, understand this is not going to be a red-letter severe weather afternoon or evening across Alabama or Georgia. We're not looking at a major cold front coming in that's going to spawn a bunch of severe weather, but we could see some isolated heavy thunderstorms that could go severe. So Jacksonville would be up there in the area where I would most expect it. Down here in South Alabama, below Montgomery, down here around Troy, no weather watches or warnings in effect down there. As a matter of fact, I don't see anything at all going on down there south of Montgomery. Not to say there couldn't be a shower or thunderstorm this evening. There certainly could be. But the better chances of heavy and strong thunderstorms are going to be further to the north, up above the Troy area. Sheila, I think Sheila's telling me she's in Gadsden working, so she should be hearing some thunder and seeing some lightning if she's up there in Gadsden, because she's got a storm to the south of her on I-59 and also one to the north, just north of Gadsden as well. Leroy is in Ashland. Good afternoon to you. Talladega in the house. Thank you, Michael, for joining us. Big race over there Monday. Sharon is watching us. Sharon's in Alexander City. Peggy's watching us from Wedowee. Rita Palmer's in the house down at Smith Station. So Clark is over at the Kia plant over at West Point, asking the question, is there any severe weather in the West Point area today? No, not at the moment. We have no severe weather anywhere across East Alabama or West Georgia at the moment. But the watch is in place and is going to be valid until 10 p.m. Central, 11 o'clock Eastern tonight. The thinking is that as we go throughout the remainder of the afternoon, and a lot of you start to get sunshine, the atmosphere is going to destabilize and we'll start to see some of those heavy thunderstorms develop. Right now, the only thunderstorms of any great concern right now are along and north of I-59 in central and northeast Alabama and just to the east of I-65 up there around Coleman. Wadley's watching us this afternoon. Woodland, Alabama in the house. A lot of folks in Wedowee watching us. Thank you. Question about Clay County. Clay County is in the same situation as everybody else, under a tornado watch until 10 o'clock tonight. Right now, we just have some light to moderate showers stretching from Lineville all the way back down into south central Clay and down into extreme northwestern Tallapoosa County. Nothing severe at the moment, but that watch is in effect for Clay County until 10 o'clock tonight central. So remain weather aware. All counties across East Alabama and West Georgia need to remain weather aware this afternoon. Question, will there be a tornado warning in Gadsden, Alabama? I have no earthly idea. Let me go down and take a look at that storm a little bit closer. Just looking at the reflectivity, I don't see anything alarming in that storm. But while we're here, let me go over there. And go level 2. And let's go to base velocity. All right, so we have some broad level rotation up here around Boaz. That is not a tight couplet. Wouldn't be concerned about that. Understand, all thunderstorms rotate or they wouldn't be a thunderstorm. That's pretty broad right there. Nothing to really indicate that we have a tornado near Boaz. Gadsden, your primary storm right now is going to be down here around Steele, just south of Attala. Right there along Highway 11 and I-59. I don't see anything there. So I see no concern for that area around Gadsden. Even though you've got some heavy thunderstorms in the area, I don't see anything of any concern right this moment. Keith is watching us from Heflin, Alabama. Rock Mills in the house. Carrollton at the Triangle. Thank you, Billy Tucker. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. There's Abanda. Somebody run down to the Abanda Cafe and get me a... two, I don't know. Let's make it 3. Give me a 3-piece whole catfish fried with a baked potato, slaw and hush puppies, and a big old slice of onion. And I'll meet you out there on 20 somewhere around Douglasville. They got some of the best fried catfish you ever put in your mouth. That's the Abanda Cafe. They're not even an advertiser here, but I got to tell you, it's good stuff. I'm working on them. We're going to get them on here before it's over with. John Pruitt's watching us in Corinth, Valley, Alabama. Boy, they had a lot of rain in Valley yesterday. Had some flooding down there. Don't need any more rain in Valley, but I'm afraid you're probably going to get some. Janine Heineman's in the house. How you doing? So the question is, do we know when the bad weather might start up, timing-wise? I think the later we get in the day, the better the opportunities will be. I think the best opportunity for heavy rain is during the overnight hours tonight. Severe weather will probably most likely be closer to dark, if there is any, folks. Understand, just because we have a tornado watch doesn't mean we're going to have severe weather. It means that the conditions are conducive for the formation of severe thunderstorms with possible tornadoes. That's all a watch means. So there's a decent chance we won't have any severe weather at all. But I think if we do, it'll be closer to dark. And then, an hour or two after we lose the sunlight, typically those storms will calm down and we'll just we'll migrate over to just a rain event. That I think the rain has a chance of lasting pretty much all night long. So we may go from a severe thunderstorm threat to more of a flood threat as we progress throughout the evening. No, the front has not made it through Clay County. What you're getting is the wind that you're getting in Clay County is from some of these thunderstorm cells that are rolling around. Those are inflow winds coming into some of those heavier thunderstorm cells there in central and northern Clay County. The front has not cleared. Front's not even in Alabama yet. I know what you mean, Ann. Ann's talking about Corinth does not need any more bad weather. They just got cleaned up. I know it's, well, they're actually still working on my son's house. Finally got some stuff working there at his place, but, well, don't even get me started on that. I might say something I shouldn't, because there's no reason in today's world it should have taken that long to get work like that done. I mean, it's just not. But I get what you're saying, Ann. We don't need more severe weather. I agree 100%. And hopefully we won't have any. Again, this is not going to be a major severe weather event. This is marginal at best, I think. Napoleon, Alabama in the house. Teresa Kirby watching us from Rolling Oak. It's not that bad up in Gadsden, Rainbow City. I mean, we've got some heavy thunderstorms up there, but we have no warnings. Let me go back over. I'm going to turn the watch warning polygons back on, and you can see for yourself. We do have all that pink. Those are all the counties that are covered under the tornado watch. Calhoun County is under the watch. Some of these counties are not populating for some reason, but all of these counties are under the tornado watch until 10 o'clock tonight. But as you can see, we have no warnings up there. So we have a couple flash flood warnings over in Georgia. We have a flash flood warning up here in northwest Alabama. But no warnings with any of this stuff up here in North Alabama. So for the moment, it's stormy up there in the Gadsden, Rainbow City area, but no severe weather at the moment. And I just wanted to go up here and look at this north of Coleman. We are beginning to see a little meso detection right there on that storm. That's an indication that we're beginning to get some lowering of the thunderstorm. We're getting some rotation up there that's beginning to kind of lower down in the lower levels of the atmosphere a little bit. That doesn't mean we have a tornado, but that is one of the things we look for. This does not have a classic look to it. And if we go back over here and put the base velocity on, you can see that we do have broad rotation. You can see it right there. But that's a large area of rotation. What you want to see for a classic tornado is you want to see just 2 or 3 little green dots up against red pixels, and then you would have something to be concerned about. So this is still broad, but it does need to be watched, and I'm sure the National Weather Service is really keeping an eye on this particular cell here. It's just north of Fairview, or just to the southwest of Arab, or just north of Holly Pond. And while we're on the reflectivity, let's look at this stuff over here closer to Albertville. Yeah, I don't see anything there. And then up here around Fife. When you're looking for the signs of a tornado, you don't look at any one thing. There are a couple of 3 or 4 things you have to look for. When you're looking at the reflectivity, just a red pixel against a green pixel is not all you look for, though that is one of the indications. There are several other parameters you look at as well, and I don't see it in any of this stuff, except for this one back over here, southwest of Arab. They're probably keeping a real close watch on that. But when we come back down to East Alabama and West Georgia, again, this is the reflectivity. You see there's nothing. And we'll go back to the composite, and there you go. And I'm going to take the watch warning box off because that clutters things up and it's hard to see. All right, folks, I'm going to recap one more time, and then I'm going to step aside because while I don't think it will be a long night, that potential is there. So you know how it works in these situations. We'll give you updates from time to time, but as long as there's no severe weather ongoing, then we're just going to give you an update, and then we'll go away. And then if severe weather starts to crank up in our area, then I'll be right back with you, and we'll write it throughout the duration. We'll give you long-form coverage if we have severe weather actually threatening East Alabama and West Georgia. So, again, the National Weather Service has issued a tornado watch, which simply means that conditions are favorable for the formation of severe thunderstorms, which would be capable of producing a tornado. In this particular setup, I think straight-line winds and marginally severe hail will be the greater threat if storms develop at all across East Alabama and West Georgia. And if that does happen, I think it will be later on this afternoon, closer to sunset, probably last an hour or two into the darkness, and then we'll transition into a flash flood event for the remainder of the night. And I think after all is said and done, the rain threat or the flash flooding threat tonight may end up being a bigger deal than the possibility of severe weather late this afternoon. But we're keeping an eye on it for you, and we'll come back and give you an update again in an hour or so. Or if we start to see storms develop, we'll be back before then. You folks in Clay County, you've got a few storms over there in the southwestern section of the county, but at the moment they're not severe. We're going to keep an eye on those. If they start to develop into severe cells, of course, I'll be right back with you, and we'll give you full wall-to-wall coverage here on Dr. Don's Weather. I ask that you support us if you possibly can. All you have to do is click on any of our weather videos. There's a link there that will carry you to drdonwx.com, and on the top of our page, you will see a link where you can donate to us and help support us here on Dr. Don's Weather page. So remain weather aware this afternoon. Watch Facebook and watch YouTube very closely. And if you haven't already done so, download the Dr. Don Weather app. Again, all you have to do is go to drdonwx.com. There's a link right there on the home page where you can download the weather app to your phone. That way you get a push notification when we go live for severe weather coverage. We're watching it for you, and I'll be back as soon as conditions warrant with more information about the possibility of severe weather across East Alabama and West Georgia on Dr. Don's Weather.